Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
To the Suburban Trap House. We fired Madden.
No.
No, he's gone. He's out.
You guys couldn't even play into the bit for a second?
I literally just did.
I'm the only one that.
I literally just said he's gone. He's out.
And I said, I'm the one that did not play into the bit.
We fired Madden. We fired Madden. Oh, you gotta sign the painting.
Me?
Yeah, right now. Right now.
What do you mean?
There's pins in
My
the
signature.
dice thing. Right next to the headphones.
Here.
What do you mean, sir?
Sign it.
Everyone
Put your
signed
signature
it.
on there.
Oh. Where?
Any? Why does everybody ask that for the painting? It's a
Because it's a
that is a
nice
10.
painting.
That's a 10 by 24 painting. I think it's I missed that. It's like a 12 or something by 24. 24 by 24.
What it is it's nice, and so we didn't want to mess it up.
Guys, there's not. If you guys saw the way I did that, the nicest part about it is the background. That's it. Okay, there we go. If you guys want to potentially scam us, take one of our signatures. They're right there.
They still can't
Good
see
luck.
mine because it's on the bottom.
Good luck.
No, they got a good glimpse, and you put it in the white, so it's got a perfect background to take away.
Okay.
We can slap that on anything. Lilo and Stitch, guys. The live action Lilo and Stitch came out. What day is it?
Are
The
we spoilers?
It's the 25th.
It's the 25th. The live action Lilo and Stitch came out 2 days ago. So spoilers, because you
Are we
should have
doing
seen
it?
it by now.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
I was gonna say, are we doing it? We're spoiling.
Oh yeah. That's the.
yeah, when we do video, when he does videos, he spoils everything.
Yeah, we spoil pretty much everything because we don't want to leave out any
Man,
context. We don't want to leave
there's
out any details.
spoilers.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
No, there's
If
not.
you haven't seen it once, ever.
If you haven't seen it once, go watch.
You honestly might not get
Yeah, don't don't even worry about watching it. Don't even worry
about the live action.
Starting with sorry. Introductions. Okay. Beautiful girlfriend over there. This is Jenna. She runs the Suburban Trap House's mental capacity and just mental state in a whole. Big Mama Trap. Big Mama Trap in a house. I need to get an overlay for you.
Yeah.
What?
An overlay. So every single time, anytime she's on the show, don't do that. On the
What
mics.
about me?
Sorry, guys.
It's gonna be real like, huh? We don't have like a nickname for you.
Gorgeous girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what you just
True,
said.
but like that's just what I call you. That's not like a nickname.
Not like Big Mama Trap.
But yeah,
Big Mama Trap
but
House.
I'm
We were
gonna be
walking
here
through New
for-
York when Big Mama Trap House
But
became a
I'm gonna
thing.
be here for how long? I need to get something.
We'll come up with it. I don't even have a nickname. I think they have to
Names
give us
happen.
nicknames. We gave her a nickname because she's like a special guest on the show. You're supposed to be a regular.
I had to do Cheetos.
I'm not a regular.
Not
I don't
even
live
Cheetos.
around here.
Chip
You're supposed to be
test.
a
I'm
regular.
from I live 5.5
Don't tell 'em.
hours away.
Don't tell him.
Blind.
Don't tell him.
I'm not
Chip-
telling them where
Okay.
I live. I'm saying I
Blind
live
chip
far
test.
away from you.
Blind chip test. That's all.
Blind chip test?
Yep.
What's that?
Initiations.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Yeah, now that we got through that, let's talk about Lilo and Stitch live action.
Oh boy, guys.
Starting with Jenna.
The trailer? Oh.
The trailer? No. We didn't even talk about the trailer. Lilo and Stitch, I don't even think we've talked about Lilo and Stitch being announced. Oh, yes, we have. Yes, we have. Because he said the N-word in a teaser. Like, it's not he didn't say the N-word. It started with N and ended with an R.
You
And
thought
everybody said it was
that
the N-word.
The girl said it when she showed up. At
She
the
says
end.
nugget.
Yeah.
She says nugget super fast.
When she said, "Hey Nugget," and she went through the portal, it was funny.
I was like, bro, that's flat out.
He goes, "What did she just say?" And I was like, "She said
Yeah,
nugget." And
yeah.
he's like,
It's
he's
like,
like,
it sounded like
"No."
she said something
Like
else.
chicken nugget.
So let's start with a rating. Normally we did it at the same time, but we have too many people here, so I'm not gonna do that.
Rating.
Yeah.
Rating?
Out of
Which
Mm.
part? Are we
We'll
rating
do it
the
out of
whole movie?
whole movie,
Whole movie.
out of
rating?
5.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Yeah, 5 stars. What are you giving it?
Probably a 3.
I was thinking 4.
Oh yeah, solid 1 to a 0.5 decimal,
1.5.
like 0.5
Oh.
is what I'm giving it.
There were some moments
They-
that were worth it.
He doesn't like how original it was with the other one. It wasn't like the original.
There was
movie.
nothing on point.
Nothing.
Not one thing.
It was a lot of hodgepodge for sure.
It was.
The entire.
It could have been. They could have. It could. It really could be a completely different movie if they just didn't make them look the same as the original.
Yeah, the things
They
I
could have made it
enjoyed
like a whole different movie.
were
True.
different.
They could have made
True.
it like a white person movie, like blonde hair, blue eyes, and just like different kind of aliens, and they could have made it totally whitewashed.
Why gotta be
and-
white?
I was just thinking, like surfing. They could have made it like an LA movie.
True.
And if they just could have been added different aliens, and they could have made the exact same thing, and no one would have.
Yeah, I
noticed
think
the
they
difference
have.
at all.
There's a movie called E.T. That's pretty much the exact same as what we just saw.
I meant like
Yeah, because
I mean like adding in the surfing,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
just made it in
would
like
just be
LA or
E.T.
something
It would
instead
just
of
be E.T.
Hawaii.
with surfing.
Because
Yeah.
most of the plot was just like
Completely off.
It was.
It was just they
The-
had the same names almost.
Yeah, basically.
yeah, it felt like a bit jerky and sudden and like, what, you just trying to make me cry?
They just
Like,
like
You
really,
got to that point?
It was well, probably because I know the original, so it was
Oh.
all these moments. I was
Then
like,
we were
man,
having
you
different
just
emotions because of
like
that.
pop that in here and there randomly, and
I want to talk about
they
the
were also
fact.
speeding it up a lot.
I want to talk about the fact that the first like 30 minutes of the film are supposed to be the intro to meeting Lilo and meeting Stitch, and
Separately.
they separately, and they condense it down to
Yeah.
about 20 to maybe I want to say 15.
15.
It felt like it was just cut away, cut
It was
away, cut
very
away, cut
quick.
away.
it was the plot was all over the place.
And then Stitch is supposed to take 3 hours to get to Earth. They say he takes 12. And he
That's
still
not
shows
a
up in one day.
That's not a super big difference.
That is a big difference because he shows up in one day.
Yeah.
He leaves during the day, and it's like the middle of the day for them.
Uh-huh.
And then
yeah, some of the fun parts I liked.
Well, it was the middle
Had
of the
to
day,
do-
and then at night is when he showed up.
yeah, in the original movie, they leave when Nani gets off of work. So it's literally Lilo goes to class. Nani gets off of work, and then
I
like
really
that whole
wish
scene
they-
of her running through the city and doing all that. That's not a thing.
I really do wish they added more of the her with her classmates
That's what I'm saying.
and like
She
more
shoved them off
visuals.
instead of like actually fighting. She just shoves her off the stage, and everybody hates her now. Like everybody,
And-
she's like a menace.
I just feel like there wasn't enough context to it. I feel like it was very quick.
It was.
It was like
Doesn't
It
mean
was
the
definitely
plot
she was
very
already
quick.
running late, which she was in the original movie, but I feel like
Yeah.
they still had more plot. And then like we didn't see them for almost the rest of the movie until Stitch returned the car that they stole. Like after Stitch stole that car, we like didn't see them for the rest of the movie until she like made him return it all broken.
Yeah. That is also in the original. That's also when we see him again. Besides
But I
the
feel like they had a lot more minutes in the original.
because of the that's what I'm saying. In the original, remember when I said she was pointing out that Stitch was a dog and they were just making fun of her for having a dog?
They said doll.
Because in the
I'm
original,
telling you, they said doll.
listen. In the original,
They
she
called
points
it
out
an
that she
ugly
makes.
dog.
In the original, she points out that she makes a doll and gets a dog. So they're making fun of both in the original. So in this one, they just pull up. She's like, "I got a new dog," and then they said, "Why would you like? You're weird for having a dog." Then started making fun of her doll. It was like the most random bullying ever. It made no sense.
Yeah.
And then, I had so many problems.
There's
It's
a
modern.
lot of
It's mod. I
Yeah.
forget if the original is
It-
like super modern,
It's
but
not.
medium modern.
they have
It's
like,
like-
they're
they
showing
have
their
phones
cell
and
phones and
stuff.
stuff. They have like telephones. They don't have cell phones
They have cell phones.
in the original.
Yeah.
Why do I not remember
that? The what is it called? The guy that takes kids away.
He has a cell phone.
He had a cell phone.
I thought
That's
he had
how
a flip phone.
communicate. It wasn't like a visual one.
That's what I'm saying.
It
They didn't
was-
keep it. They
It
didn't.
had a little.
Yeah, it had an antenna and flipped up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's a cell phone.
Not the same. Not
But
the
I'm
same.
saying
They didn't
it
keep the.
was
They didn't keep
kind
the
of modern.
vibe.
For when
So I
it came out,
guess-
it was kind of modern.
The
Yeah, yeah,
question
yeah.
is why?
I see what you're saying.
Why is it so-
Why did this movie? Why did they want to make this movie?
Money.
They
Okay.
didn't. They didn't make it very well.
The part I liked though, 'Cause I
Let's
laughed.
get to that. Let's get to that.
I laughed. I might have been the only one, but I was laughing out loud. And for sure, like when they did the whatever filters, whatever programs they used to make the aliens, there were some funny parts of that.
Okay. When they were humans.
It gave me a bit of a Space Jam vibe.
When they became
Just a
humans,
little
it
bit.
was better. I hate the CGI. You liked it for them? I forget
it
the
was,
other.
what the
it just
aliens
had
look
some
like?
Yeah.
it had some funny
I thought it
moments
was
with
good.
it. Like the timing of it.
Yeah.
Like the timing of it, I was like, okay, that they did that.
The scene they show in the trailer where he gets like goes from human to alien, Pleakley does.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I understand the context of that, I found it funny
Yeah, there was some
because it kind of
the
happened.
original one, it
It kind
didn't.
of happened the same that way.
Yeah.
But I think he drops his towel or something like that. Like he's wearing feminine clothes in the original, and
Yeah,
that's
he
why the
tries
whole
to be
joke
a
is there.
girl.
Yeah, that's why the whole joke is there. And this one, he's kind of just a gay guy.
Yeah, he's
Like
just very.
he ends up getting like a.
his wave at the end. Goodbye.
Does he do that in the? I
He's
think he does
so
that in the
funny.
original, right?
He does.
He does the like.
That was so funny.
That reminds
And
me
then
of-
he gets to this.
Yeah, he like starts doing it the right way.
Oh my gosh! See,
Yeah,
there were some
there's-
funny parts with that to me.
Yeah, you're easier to
You
please. though.
hairy potato.
You're-
She called
you're
him a
easy.
hairy potato.
You're easy to please though.
He was like, "Did you just call me a hairy potato?" He was so
That was the reason.
perplexed by that.
That was the reason that
Ah, that was funny.
they took out. What's his name?
Because he does look like a hairy potato with all his eyes. I needed that though, because they kept trying to make me cry.
When?
I don't.
Every
When?
15
When,
or
like,
20
There was no way that
minutes.
movie was anywhere.
Because
were,
you could
how were
see
you so
Stitch
tapped into
actively
it?
like changing his ways, maybe.
It was
I
because
did like the fact that Stitch had a more noticeable personality.
the bullying was so quick, and then she was in trouble. I didn't almost cry then, but it was just like everything was so like emotionally like, wow, why would you do that? Why would you make them do that?
That's
Why
how it is in the originals. In the
Yeah.
originals, it's worse.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, man, I hope they make it through this. Even though I knew the end, I still felt like I don't know if they're gonna make it. They're gonna mess
You
up.
still were like, that's crazy. I didn't like Nani. Is that? What it was?
Yeah, her sister.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did
I did-
actually.
I didn't like
You
how she
liked
was in the
Nani?
beginning. Like she had
You
character
might need to
development
stand
in the
up and
end,
walk out.
but she was.
Actually,
The whole
that's a
point
good
is
point.
that
Nah.
That's a
she
good point.
didn't go to get Stitch like in the original movie. She goes with Lilo to go get Stitch.
In the original, she
didn't, and then
she
she
buys
gets mad
Lilo.
that the grandma did it. When, like, at least if you're not gonna be the one doing it, like like you were in the original movie, at least be like
And
glad to
do you
kind of
remember
have
why
it.
she buys Stitch for her?
Because Lilo is so sad and wants a friend.
Well, because
She did
that
the shooting star.
yeah, that and they literally it was to like an I'm sorry for the argument they had the night before.
Yeah.
So it's literally supposed to be like a whole thing that her way of saying I'm sorry is buying Stitch, and then the reason they have the 1 day rule is because she notices Stitch is not a dog, so she's like, we can only keep it for a day, and then we gotta take it back because this is not a dog, and we gotta like swap it for a different dog, and Lilo's like, nah, we're not doing that. In this movie, Nani is the worst sister I've ever seen. She is literally just a parent. That's it. All she does is parent
even
Lilo.
like her trying to get through stuff, I was like, oh my gosh.
Stitch is the like in this movie. Stitch was like,
rotten.
yeah. It wasn't even
He
like he was
wasn't
just. It was just his
accidentally-
nature. It was like he really was like,
He was
I
really
need to
just
destroy
like,
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin your day.
Yeah, and then they have he's obsessed with food more than in the original. Like the entire reason he gets caught is because he wants food, instead of in the original he points the guns down at the frog. That's when he gets caught, is because he gets hit by a truck during that moment. I don't think I've ever been
love
so
that
irritated
moment
from a remake.
When he got hit by the truck, I didn't love that
It
either.
was
They turned it
weird.
into a party scene.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
Like he was
Yeah.
dancing under there. He was not dancing. He was getting run over.
Yeah, and then they go back. When can somebody please look up when Uptown Funk came out? Because that movie, that movie
When did Uptown
Song.
Funk by Bruno
That
Mars
song-
come out?
has been used way too many times.
2014.
2014. Stop it.
It's been out
Stop
for
it. It's been out for
11
10 years.
11 years.
Could even write a song.
11 years.
10 years.
11 years.
Once we get past a decade, stop using it in film. Unless it's nostalgia, stop using it in film. And that was not nostalgia.
That was so he could have a party.
It
while
also
getting hit
didn't
by a
make
truck.
sense
Yeah.
of them making it modern because of the Elvis.
It's because they took out the Elvis. That's why. She was.
She was still like an Elvis, just not as much.
It's a whole plot in the original. He literally becomes Elvis for a little bit, for like a good. In his good thing, when he becomes a good person.
Thought it was still cute. I liked that part.
Yeah.
What part?
The Elvis, her loving Elvis.
We didn't even get enough of that.
We didn't get enough.
That was
No,
such a-
we didn't get
that was
enough
the
of it,
best
but it
part
still
about
happened,
her.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, her loving that.
Like when
was
she
cute.
was sad and she was singing Elvis.
The sandwich she feeds Pudge is CGI. That made me mad.
Well, why would they put a real sandwich underwater?
Why not? What's the worst that's gonna happen? The whole thing was CGI. She wasn't holding anything.
Pollution. I don't know.
What?
Pollution?
I don't know.
Food is biodegradable.
Still, like, they don't want, like, it probably they probably tried it, and then it, like, fell apart while she was swimming.
Yeah.
So then it would have made sense.
It does make sense. That's the whole point. It doesn't make sense that you took a sandwich out to the water. So realistically, using a real sandwich would make sense in the film.
Yeah, I guess.
These are the
Well,
things. These are
I'm
the things. The
glad we
creativity
watched
is
it.
lacking in these movies.
Yeah, I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah.
But also,
What?
Nothing.
Say it.
I was gonna. It's completely not about
Okay.
Lilo and Stitch. I was
Oh.
gonna say we need to do one about the new Final Destination.
I'm just gonna tell you guys, this is gonna be our shortest ever podcast episode because they're on point and me and Madden are not. We're gonna go on random tangents all the time. They don't.
I
oh,
literally
They
just
only-
changed the
They
subject.
they only came here to talk about what we need to talk about.
what are you talking about?
It literally just changed the subject.
I've been talking about Lilo and Stitch.
I know. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
that's
want
Me
something
and Madden's,
He-
mine and Madden's episodes are
They
like
get
hours
off
long.
topic of what they're planning to
Okay,
talk
well
about.
then,
They get off of
okay,
it.
then here's a question: how come no one's worried that Stitch is not a dog? They don't know what it is,
But they
you
still
know what?
let Lilo adopt him.
No, they just move on.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just
even
like,
then-
so,
They're
let's
just like,
just
I don't
go to
think
work
that's a
now.
dog.
Yeah, even then in the original, the vet
There's a
is
few
worried.
things-
The
once
vet's
they-
like, you can't take this dog. I don't know what this is.
Please take anybody
Yeah.
else.
And then in this movie, she's like, I don't know if you would want that.
We have way better
We have
dogs.
better dogs.
We
Right,
have
I did
way
not
better
like her.
dogs.
I
She
was
was
like, bro,
irritating.
get out of here with that. They did not do good on some of these characters.
And they kept saying how how Stitch didn't look like a dog, but then they never did anything about it.
Until the very end, yeah.
Yeah.
And Bubbles did something. The reason they
Bubbles
made
did-
Bubbles a CIA agent is because everybody wanted
he was
him to be.
originally a CIA.
Mm-mm.
I thought he's both.
He was just Secret Service. Or not Secret Service. He was just Child Services, which is that was the whole pun about him being like a super Terry Crews sized dude with a deep voice and cobra
He's
on his
bigger
knuckles.
than Terry Crews.
Terry Crews should have played him though.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why they did that.
They didn't want to make him as
They said it. I think if I remember,
scary.
I was about to say if I remember correctly, they said it was like they didn't want to have a violent.
He
image on
looks
him.
too intimidating.
Yeah, so they didn't want to. But that was the whole point. He has cobra on his knuckles.
I was gonna say they were a bit more aggressive,
They like flashed
And-
past that part.
and then in this one they were more supportive.
I didn't really even hear Lilo say that he had cobra. I heard her say that he had something on his knuckles, but then I was never
I
able to
heard
read
the
it,
cobra.
and I didn't hear.
She says cobra. Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, you can read."
Yeah, he's like, oh, you could read.
I know. I saw.
And the
part.
whole thing, even that moment's too fast. I don't know if animation just understands how to get timing down. If that's just a thing they do very well for animation.
Oh.
But for some reason, when animation goes to live action, the timing is horrible.
And when Lilo was like, when David said, "Who's your pet?" and then she points to the ground. And
Oh
says,
yeah,
"That's
she points like
Stitch."
above his head.
When he's like sitting right next to her in the chair,
Yeah, mom.
she points like,
yeah.
"That's Stitch." And he's like
It was
right
bad.
here.
There's a scene where at the very end where Nani's petting Stitch and she starts above his head.
Oh yeah, she
and
goes like
firmly grasps and then comes down and
she
everybody.
goes.
I
Like,
saw a bunch of jokes about
She
that.
hits right here, and then she goes.
So I saw stuff about the fact that Lilo doesn't get kept by Nani, but in the end of the film, that's not really how they show it.
She doesn't get kept by Nani.
She doesn't get kept by Nani, but
Nani
they
goes to
portray it
college.
more. They portray it more as she just goes to college.
Yeah, she does go to college.
But the way I was seeing it online was she just doesn't keep her sister.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that's fucked up. Like, that's messed up. But if
But
it's
cool
if
they
it's
have,
that,
like, a-
then that makes more sense.
Like a portal, though. She can see Nani whenever she wants.
It was cool until the very end when they couldn't just have Nani jump back through the portal
Yeah, that was
and then
confusing.
close it. I was
I
like,
don't know
Nani,
why
jump
she
through the
didn't
portal.
just Go back. She tried to like.
And
get
then
rid
this
of the
dude
portal.
said, this dude walks in
Y-
knowing
and
that
he-
6-year-old Lilo was just in there and sees a behemoth of a mound.
They're growing up so fast.
And so she's growing. That's a fat kid. You need to check that kid. Their metabolism dropped
What
instantly.
kind of checking were you checking?
Yeah, he walks in, he looks at it, and it's just a
Growing up
brick.
So fast.
It's just a house of blankets.
You would have thought that like, cause he's Secret Service, he would
would be better at that.
something. And then he already knew about the portal. I don't think he would have gotten mad.
You saw it.
If he saw the portal.
There was a flash of light
Right.
coming from under the door.
That was just.
He's like,
again,
you
I
doing
was like,
Dance
what is
Dance
this? It's
Revolution
random
again? That's what
plot.
he was saying, or
It's just
something
like-
like that.
Tic Tac.
Yeah, you doing those
Yeah,
tic
you
tac
doing
trends?
them Tic Tac trends.
Yeah,
That's
no.
Too
just-
modern. I think that's
It's way too modern.
It's way too modern. It's way too modern. It's way too modern.
They tried. They tried.
Did they though? Because most of their, I won't
You
say
know
all of
that
their.
they
There
can do
was
it because
a
of
lot
the other
of-
shows that they've done.
Do what?
Disney
We didn't
Like,
stay
make
for the
it-
whole.
time accurate.
Oh yeah.
We didn't stay for all the credits.
We did.
No, we didn't.
Well, not like
We literally
Usually
just
we
stayed
stay
stay
for like
for
the
all.
pictures.
Usually we stay for all.
That's because usually we're going to see Marvel movies.
But I was gonna say we didn't stay
Yeah,
for
Marvel
all.
movies have an end scene
Yeah.
at the end of them.
I was thinking though, seeing how many people actually worked on it, like maybe it was fewer.
The budget went more. I guarantee the budget went more into animation and CGI than did the sound
Because
effects.
there's a blend for
'Cause-
sure.
Because Stitch hits concrete and it sounds like a wood floor. And there's a moment where it's like, and I was like, what kind of noise? He was just on concrete and then he hits the ground and it sounds like concrete. I was like, oh yeah, they cheaped out on this. There's a bunch of green screen. Not even like, oh yeah, because it's CGI. No. Humans standing there outside, green screen. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with Hollywood and why we need to do this. But every single time a human with no CGI is outside, the background has to be green
That's
screen.
what I was looking to see at the end. All the different, because sometimes you can see like, oh, okay, they had fewer, or it's a look, or
Yeah.
it's a certain.
They did it in,
studios.
They did it in Brave New World 2 with for Captain America 4, where anytime Sam Wilson had the shield and was
Oh, on
outside.
Cherry Tree Lane.
Yeah.
When it was Cherry
Oh, yeah.
Cherry Tree
watched
Lane,
that
or
movie.
even he's like not in the sky.
I didn't watch that.
Like, I guess you do need to CGI
Like the
that,
one
but
guy
you
that
don't.
drops his snow cone every time.
Yeah,
He's green screen.
green screened.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't look good. The ships, the alien ships looked better than
Actually,
a human just standing there.
see, that's the stuff I was enjoying. It was fun. Like,
It looked cool
it
seeing them
actually
there.
was fun having the aliens show up, and they were so cartoon.
Yeah, except for the ruler, the leader, the chancellor lady.
Even she was very.
She had
cartoon.
like fat lips. Her lips were like,
And we
was
said
crazy.
that they were totally gonna date. the CIA
Oh
guy
yeah.
and
She
the
they shook hands.
They
shook hands.
Yeah,
She was
they
like,
did have a bit of a.
yeah, they got a thing going on
There's
up
a-
there.
I
They-
noticed.
and he
We
taking
all shipped
trips.
them.
He's taking trips. He's definitely.
She's taking trips.
He asked Nani how that portal works. He said, "Hey,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
hey,
Can
hey,
you teach
how
me
I
how
do
to
this?
wear
How I
that
do this?"
portal? She stole it from him, actually. That's how she got to
Yeah.
Nani.
I think if it's I think it's Gantu, is his name. I think they swapped him out for that robot at the beginning.
I did like the girl that was like willing to blow up the earth because she looked like an axolotl.
Oh, that girl.
She's
She's
accurate
like,
to the
ready
film.
whenever you are.
Yeah, ready whenever you are. And then she
looked
mentions
like an axolotl.
she mentions that they might just need to blow it up, and she was like, "I got you, I'm ready. I can
She's
do
like,
it."
I'm ready
Not
whenever
yet.
you give me the okay.
And then she's what does she say? I love that sadistic little something. That like psychotic
she's
little
like,
something.
she's so adorable, but she's so sadistic
Yeah.
or something like that.
I think it was. Psychotic.
It was.
Psychotic.
Anyways,
It made me mad.
yeah, it was.
I didn't enjoy it.
I think.
There were good moments and there were a lot of bad moments.
Yeah.
But I think the thing
I would
is,
agree with
I think the
that.
thing is, as a full summary,
They were really trying to just make up with those like big good moments and make up for all the little bad moments.
So I'll change my 4. Can I change my 4?
is it going higher or lower?
Lower.
Oh, okay.
Higher.
Well, I don't know. You
We're
were already
talking
about to.
a lot of
You were
the-
already
we're
near
talking about
peak.
a lot of the details, so she's like.
We were already
starting to
near peak.
remember.
We were already near
I'm
peak.
hearing my number and my actual comments, and they're more at a 2 or a 3.
That's what I'm saying.
My comments are like it was a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
So I think I should at least be a 3.
Yeah. I mean,
I should be a
That's what I'm
3
makes sense.
because I could see some people like I would not want to take my child to this though. I'm just saying.
I know there's nobody in our
There
theater.
was no one in our movie theater.
There
like,
was
The kids that
Maybe
were
two
in there,
rows.
I felt like it was much for their
no
emotions.
there were some
There
older
were-
kids there, but
there
like young
were-
kids there was like 2.
because the family was constantly getting ripped apart, and then
That I feel like you're getting too deep.
She's getting deep.
You're getting
with
too
it.
deep with
well,
it.
and then Lilo, and so it was like, it was just in terms of relating.
Yeah.
I was rough on a child. They'd have to stay awake and make it through the end.
They definitely did add moments to make it longer.
and so
and
they'd
it
have to
was-
see that
it was
everything
rough.
worked
But they
That
out.
was
could have
rough.
just made
The movie.
the actual, like,
They
with the
easily
How
could've
to Train Your Dragon,
made
a
the movie.
lot of the trailers that I've been seeing of it is like it's literally exactly like the movie, and they say the exact same words.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
it's
not loving
live
that,
action.
guys. I'm not loving it.
it's
if,
just
if my vote counts, I don't love it. Get creative. Otherwise, make a different movie.
Valid.
That's my vote. What's the point of doing something already done? Unless you're gonna do it either with your
Like I think How to Train Your
style.
Dragon. I think How to Train Your Dragon will be
I think it's
right
gonna be
here
good.
to the original movie from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Every single close-up shot I've seen of
But
the
see,
guy
it's How to
playing
Train
Hiccup on.
your dragon, not a dragon.
True, they could have done a different variation, and made it a different person's trilogy for live action instead of that.
Could
But
have just been dragon trainings.
you know,
Here we go.
because I don't think How to Train Your Dragon has ever changed its main characters.
It
It's
doesn't need to
always
change
been-
the main characters, but if you're gonna go word for word,
You got to do it the right way.
But that's what I
That's it.
feel like. It's not like good. I'm sure at least the main parts, they took out like a lot of big things that people liked in the original movie, and like those are all in the trailer. So I think they're keeping a lot of the good things that everyone liked.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're gonna change things up, but I like how it's looking so far. I think they.
no,
It does
looks
look
really
good.
I think
It does
Hiccup,
look really
they
good.
picked a good actor for Hiccup.
Yeah.
I don't think they picked a good actor for Astrid.
A lot of
I mean,
people
she's
don't.
probably really good at acting, but she is not.
I just said,
she
why didn't you
doesn't
pick a
look
natural
like-
blonde? That's all I said. And I didn't get any hate for it, but I saw a lot of other people saying a lot of other things that I was like, whoa. Whoa.
I just think she doesn't like. They added some blonde parts in her hair, which was
She's
nice.
also, she's
but
also
she,
super skinny.
She had like one braid, but now like her whole head is braids.
Astrid?
Because she's
She has one braid in the second movie. In the first movie, it's literally just hair down.
Exactly.
in
Well,
a
her
thing.
hair's tied back in the first
Yeah,
movie.
that's what I meant.
But in the second movie, she has
She has a
one
single
braid
braid,
right
yeah.
here, and then the rest is blonde
yeah.
and long. And then now in the live action, because
Because it's fake hair, they gotta.
they made her have all braids.
Yeah, that was the same
Like-
thing they did with the.
Singles?
She has like.
She has like
Little Mermaid Ariel type braids,
yeah.
and then they're all bundled up to make it look like
Mm-hmm.
she's kind of a dirty blonde.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
have,
it's
like,
not.
strands
It doesn't
that-
look bad. It's just when
It
you
doesn't
look
look
at them
bad, it's
side by
just, like-
side, you're gonna be like,
It's not
Well-
accurate. That's all it is.
you could have hired a fully blonde person.
You
Or
can just
put a wig
do
on that.
Viking braids. You don't have to do singles like Ariel.
They might have done Viking braids. They're just very
They
small.
did kind of.
Viking
I don't know what they
It
look
doesn't
like
look
very
bad.
much.
It definitely doesn't
No.
look bad. It's just not accurate, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. A lot of people's argument is that since it's not history, it doesn't need to be accurate. Since it's fake, it doesn't need to be accurate. I don't agree with
But
any of that.
it's
Then
still
make
like
it your own.
it's still like it's.
If you're gonna go word for word, do it accurate.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make it your own, then you can make it your own. That's
Yeah.
my
Yeah, they
take.
just
But when
Yeah.
you blend too much, it's like
I think-
it's got people all over the place. Are we watching it? Or are we not watching it? Are we
I
watching
think-
yours? Or are we watching someone else's?
I think the twins look completely different than each other.
They do. I remember that. The twins in How to Train Your Dragon are identical, and I don't think they are anymore. Which I don't know why they did that. Like that, I'm starting to realize that people there's a lot of hold on. Is it PSA? PSA?
Announcements.
They're not identical, but I don't know.
do
They
you mean?
made the boy one look more accurate to the actual person or the actual.
Oh yeah, I guess they're not
cartoon.
identical since they're.
And then, but they
They would
made the
have to be.
girl.
Are you
completely-
saying that
No, I'm saying
the two actors
the
aren't? 'Cause they
guy
aren't.
looks more accurate to the cartoon guy,
Yeah,
but then the girl looks.
but when you said they're
completely
not
different.
identical, are you saying the actual characters aren't, or are you saying the
No,
actors?
the actual characters are.
Okay, I thought.
But
I was
in
tweaking.
that they aren't. They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fraternal twins.
I feel like people got a problem with the like. Not. You know. All the American people.
They can't see you.
Stop the BS. Stop the crimes. What else? I don't have a teleprompter.
Oh,
They
stop
can't
the
even
BS.
see you.
Stop the crime.
Stop the
that.
lies.
Stop the hate. Stop the bigotry. Stop your nonsense having thoughts. 'cause they don't
We might
make
need
any
to slow this
sense.
down. We might need to slow this down.
Oh, I thought you said, what are we stopping?
Yeah.
We could go into what are we starting.
Nope. No.
Don't start, no. Won't be
Yup.
no.
I actually could get copyrighted.
If you
for that.
don't,
Well,
then
no,
I don't.
I can get copyrighted.
don't-
I can get
don't.
copyrighted. I can get copyrighted.
I cut myself.
I know.
I mean, I cut it short, is what I mean.
Last thing I want to talk about.
So
Hamilton.
I got one and another. One's for asking. Asking hands. You want some of this?